Hi everyone, I'm Jen Houston, owner of the Artsy Fartsy Gallery. I'm a full-time independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Canmore, Alberta, Canada. Welcome to Four Cards and Friends. Tonight we're going to use one stamp set, make one big one, and create 4 different cards using that one stamp set. And something a little special today is that we are going to be using 2 of those cards along with 2 cards that you have not seen in my upcoming online card class. And we're going to be using this stamp set, To a Wild Rose, which is absolutely stunning. It kind of reminds me of outside right now. Alberta, you know, I guess it's, isn't its provincial flower the wild rose? Well, they are everywhere around our condo and the smell is incredible. So I'm excited to use this stamp tonight, and I'm excited to use it in my online class coming up. So this class is free tonight. Every product that you see me use tonight is of course for sale, and if you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I would love to be yours. Another thing is, if you do this, however many times you do that, I will put your name into a draw for one of the cards that are made tonight. Also, if you do this, if you do that with my video, I will put your name into a separate drawing for 4 of my handmade cards. So, lots of opportunities to win, lots of opportunities to have some fun. So I see lots of people popping on, and I'm so excited. Tanya and Chrissy, Sue, Sherry, Melissa, Lisa Harden. Everyone's popping on. Awesome to see. And I've already seen some people sharing this video. That helps me out, my little business out here, so gets the word out. So thank you so much for doing that. Alrighty. So first off, I wanted to show some happy mail that I got this week. I love getting happy mail. Of course, it's, that's why I do it for other people, because I know it's going to bring a smile to their face, right? So my first card that I want to show tonight is from, light's bad, Natasha. Beautiful daisy. Reminds me I need to get that daisy stamp out and start creating with this. Might have to case this design. It's quite stunning. I really like it. So thank you so much, Natasha, for thinking about me. That's so sweet. And today, it was so funny because my friend Lori, way back in Manitoba, she got one of my cards that I sent to her, and today I got one of her cards. So here's her card, and I love how she embossed on the main card, kind of the card base, I suppose, the first layer. And she also embossed on this layer and kind of popped it up a little bit. I thought it looked stunning. What a great idea. And look at, I love that ribbon. She knows me so well. And you know what else she put on there? Wink of Stella. I love Wink of Stella. So thank you, ladies. You are the best. I love getting happy mail. I see Wendy's joined. Hello, Wendy. Thanks so much, you guys. So good to see you, Karma and Amy. Did I miss anybody here? Great. Keep popping on and tell me where you're from. If I haven't talked to you in a while, that would be great. Okay, let's get rolling. So once again, 2 of the cards we're going to make tonight, and I'm not going to tell you which 2, are going to be in the upcoming online card class. So here we go. If you would like to kind of stamp along or just want to know a little more details, the cards. Hi, Jean. Nice to meet you. Whoops, let's get the screen. Oh, goodness. It's been a long day. Here we go. All right. The colors that I'm mainly going to be using today and for the upcoming card class are going to be Gray Granite, one of my new favorites. As I've mentioned it before, Oh my goodness. Gray granite sat on my shelf until probably, what, a month ago. And all of a sudden I can't stop using it because it just kind of goes with everything and it's beautiful. One of the new in colors, Rococo Rose, has become one of my favorites. It's such a beautiful pink. And mint macaron. So they all go so nice together. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you. You still love my glasses. You you want a pair, do you? Well, they were in the clearance section, and so Ukrainian. And so I'm like, I gotta do something bold and bizarre in my life, right? So this was it. This is my midlife crisis, I suppose. Okay. So the stamp set we're using today is called To a Wild Rose, and it's becoming one of my favorites. I love how that you can do the two-step stamping process or the three-step stamping process. You can kind of make layers with the flowers as well as the leaves. You've got this little insert here that stamps the little, I forget what those are called. You love my sparkly shirt. Is it sparkly? Maybe the light's just making it sparkly. It is one of my, it's the artsyfartsygallery.com Jen Houston shirts. So I'm just trying it out, seeing if it, wears well after I washed it. So this is my first wash. So I'm seeing, did it shrink ridiculously or does it still fit? Those kinds of things. Because someday I would love to have my shirts on sale. So, sorry, that's off topic, squirrel. Okay, back to the stamp set. I do love these sayings. True friendship is one of God's greatest gifts, and I truly believe that. So I love that. And the blessed is so neat. So it's kind of neat how you can combine these. So hello. So blessed to be your friend. Blessed and grateful. Blessed to know you. Now here's my problem for tonight. Lisa Harden knows this. We were chit-chatting earlier. I have lost my to be your friend. Have you had this happen to you? Give me some thumbs up if this happens to you. Honestly, it's gone somewhere. I turned everything upside down. I went through the garbage. I looked on my shirt. I looked on the dogs. In the bed, dog beds. I looked everywhere, and hopefully it will turn up. I know they always do, but it'll be stuck to something silly that you'll find, later on down the road. But we're gonna have to improvise a little bit tonight because I don't have that stamp set. It is having a rest somewhere on something. So, yeah. Also, this stamp set comes with framelits, matching framelits, which are pretty stunning. So, of course, I'm not one of those fancy people who have one of those nice magnets and they, all lined up nicely. No, I just throw them in. I'm kind of, it's probably why I lost my stamp. Let's just put it that way. All right, so we're using this today. Here is our first card. All right, so I stamped blessed all the way down the side, and I used that beautiful label kind of framelit that comes with this stamp set. And of course these beautiful flowers come with the open petals, which is kind of neat. Oh good, I'm not alone, eh Melissa? Oh goodness. And the leaves and this other little flowery bit, I don't know what you want to call it. So I put blessed, and then I used those words and grateful, just kind of to pop it up. And of course my pearls. People that know me know I like my pearls. On the inside, I just stamped some of those stamps just to add a little pizzazz when you open the card. And of course, for the envelope on the flap, I used the same stamp that I stamped on the inside. And on the front, I stamped blessed and a couple leaves there for that one. So I'm going to change this one up just a tad because I'm running low on Rococo Rose. See what I mean? I really quite like it. So we're going to change things up a little bit and see what we like better, which color combination. So I'm going to use Whisper White. Okay, uh-oh, are we stuck again? Just curious. Lisa Harden told me if I am stuck, she will let me know. Otherwise, keep going. Okay, so we have our card base of Whisper White, which is really an 8.5 by 5.5 piece of Whisper White cardstock folded in half like a little book. Next, I'm going to use the Blessed stamp. So I've just mounted it on an H block. And of course, the cool thing about these polymer stamps and the new stamps, the red rubber stamp, well, they're called cling stamps now, I suppose. You can reuse these blocks for all the different stamps. So I don't know if you knew that or not, but that's such a neat idea. All right, we're going to start with our Mint Macaron ink pad, and it opens up like a compact, my ladies with the makeup. And I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. No need to mash that ink and mash that stamp into the ink pad. And basically, I'm going to go free for all here. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to snap my way down the bottom. And you know what I just thought of? Because it is a photopolymer stamp set, you want to use a foam mat. Now I forget who suggested, which I thought was brilliant, but I have put my foam mat inside a Ziploc bag so that I can just wipe it off if I get, you know, excess ink all over the place. All right, let's go down the row here. With photopolymer, it just helps give a little bit of a cushion to make a better, cleaner, crisper image. Now, of course, if this isn't totally lined up perfectly, we're going to remember this is handmade, not Hallmark, right? A machine's not making this, a person's making this. Yep, it looks like my comments are frozen again. So, if you have questions or anything, please ask them, because I will go back afterwards and comment and answer your questions if you have them. Now, I can't ask for your opinions. Let's see. I wonder if I can get them on my laptop. I think I'm going to go one more. It's going to be hanging off the card, but that's okay. Now, see what I mean? I would have got a little bit of ink there. So what I'm going to do is actually get my Young Living. Something went wrong with my video. Yikes. I don't know. Keep going. Okay. See how I did that? I just wiped it off with a little, you can use your baby wipes. We are a Young Living family, so we have Young Living baby wipes now. And there we go. We've stamped down the side there. Now let's add our little label here. I'm going to put this aside for a minute. And I would like to pop it up because I think that just adds a little extra dimension to your cards. Makes them a little more exciting. Now I see. I guess I should have had a look before I started today, but these are kind of on the low side here. That's all right. I've got more. So how is everyone doing tonight? We had a big thunderstorm here last night. My poor little dog Breezer, he just gets scared with thunderstorms, and so he had to crawl in the bed. So there was two dogs in the bed plus the husband. So let's just say I didn't get too much sleep. Next, our original card here, I did with, I'm still good. Lisa Harden gave me I'm still going good here. Instead of the Rococo Rose, this time I'm going to use Purple Posy. Let's give that a try. And so what I do is I know I'm only going to use about half of the flower onto the label. So that's all I'm going to put little snail bits onto. just half the flower. The other half will be hanging off. Now, if you have the adhesive sheets, those are always handy. You can use those when you're running the die through the Big Shot. They don't sell them anymore. Now, I've got some stuff that I don't really want, so I have, let me look inside here. Here it is. Stampin' Up used to sell these. I call it my booger buster. Gets rid of all the little boogers, the eraser, the adhesive bits that you don't really want. Now, if you don't have one of these, what you can use is just a white eraser. It just kind of makes it not all sticky and shiny where you don't want it to show. There we go. Okay, let's add some leaves. So here are my little gray granite leaves, which I'm going to kind of poke underneath the label. So let's just pick this up a little bit. And I want to make sure that it stays onto the card, because if it kind of goes off a little bit, it might not fit in your envelope. Okay, let's add our second one. So all these items have been run through with the Big Shot and those framelits that match so nicely with this set. Okay, and I'm going to add a little piece of mint macaron to kind of tie in the blessed. Let's tuck it under there. Oh, and let's not put it on the front. Oh yes, look what I'm doing. Something like so. Now afterwards I'm going to go back and fix that up a little bit, because since I got some glue on the front, we don't really want that, do we? Yeah, here's a card. It's stuck to your envelope, but have a good day. Okay, our next step, let's add our little sentiment. So blessed. Now I did and grateful the last time, so how about we switch it up this time and say to know you. Let's go with that. Now, last time I did it in the Rococo Rose. How about this time? I don't know if we should do it in the purple. Let's do it in Purple Posy. Purple Posy is in here. We're actually going to use it on the next project. Sticking it on my little, what block is this? G block. You want to get the block as close to the size of the stamp as possible, so you aren't getting ink everywhere you don't want it to be. Oh, I should have probably been using my foam pad, but this looks okay. Let's close this up before I get everything everywhere. Now, let's just trim this, because of course I don't need that whole entire row line there. Yeah, I think that looks good. And let's pop that up as well. If you're wondering what these kind of dimensionals are, they're actually the edges of a dimensional sheet. They work just as well as the real dimensionals, so don't throw them out. Use them too. Let's place that right over top here. Like so. And I think we need some pearls or something, you know. How about, I don't have Purple Posy. I was thinking of maybe we could color some of the pearls. We can do that with our new Stampin' Blends, which are kind of fun. I do have mint macaron, so let's try that. So basically all you need to do is use the paintbrush end and just color up your pearl like so. Let's do one of each, a small, medium, and a large. See how that colors up so nicely? If I moved it up a little bit, you might be able to see better. Okay. Get out your take your pick tool. That is definitely one of my favorite tools. It's got kind of sticky tack on one end, and it helps just give it a push like so. And I'm going to put one on each flower. And then one just up here in the corner, kind of to tie in the saying. And of course you kind of want to try to stick with the odd number of things. That's just how the eye feels most comfortable. So, and there we go. Okay, now I'm curious. Here's the envelope. Let's start here. On this one I did the purple posy flower, and I did blessed once again. I don't know if you can see the little bit I stamped off, which means I inked up my ink pad, stamped it onto my grid paper, and stamped it on my grid paper again, and then I finally stamped onto my envelope. And there's just a faint, faint flower there, just to add some interest. Okay, here's your time to get involved. Which do you prefer? The white card or the green card? So let's hear your opinions, white or green. And while you're doing that, I am going to switch, clean up here a little bit, and get ready for the next card. I'm actually going to find some dimensionals too. Grab some out of my pile here. Good to go. Okay, let me clean off Blessed with my Simply Chamois. If you don't have one of these things, it's a great investment. They're actually not expensive at all. And they clean so nicely. And because I got a bunch of glue there and don't want it everywhere, I'm just going to flip my grid paper over like so, and let's start again. All right, I'm just going to actually flip to that screen so that if this is starting to interest you and you're thinking about, oh, I think I need this stamp set and bundle, there you go. There's the number, there's what it's called, and you can have a look at that. Okay, next card. This one's a neat one. I kind of did this one by accident. But you know, that's sometimes how you get your new card ideas, right? So here we go. Isn't that cute? So grateful to be your friend. Unfortunately, we can't do to be your friend. So we'll have to think of something else on how we're going to use this. But in the inside, I added a little stamp of the flower, and I once again added some color. And for the flap of the envelope, did the same sort of idea that I did with the card, and there again on the front of the envelope. All right, but this time, just to switch it up a little bit, let's use Purple Posy again. And I'm going to actually change up another thing, as you'll see. So I've already done the envelope, like so. Our card base is going to be Whisper White again. Then I'm going to have a layer of Purple Posy, which is, just an 1/8 of an inch shorter on each side. Now you'll see these big flowers cut out of here. It's just my Ukrainianness. I know that I'm going to be putting something over top, so might as well get the best use out of our paper, right? So So this is going to be going over top, a piece of Whisper White cardstock. Now just to rush things along a little bit, because I often take a little too long, I have pre-stamped the flower, this flower, over and over and over using gray granite. And so that's going to be kind of our card base. Now to add some color. I'll show you how I did this. So I have a little dauber. It just fits on the end of your finger. It's kind of like a little sponge. And I'm going to get out my purple posy ink. You can do this with any of the colors, of course. So if you don't have a sponge or a dauber, you can always use a sponge. You could use maybe a makeup brush, one of those makeup sponges for a while until maybe you're ready to purchase one of these. But you just dab it in the ink. Now, if you're a little worried about how this is going to come out, get out a scrap piece of paper and kind of rub it around. Some people rub, some people dot like this. I am more of a rubber, if that makes sense. All right, to me it just comes out a little more even than the dotting. But everyone has their personal preference, right? So like so. So in between the flowers, I'm going to work my way with this dauber. Now, it's going to get in the inside of your flower, and you have to be okay with that. No perfectionists allowed. It's okay. It's kind of one of those whimsy cards that just allows for some boo-boos, right? Some oopses, and that's okay. So I find this very relaxing because I know that it's you know, if you enjoy coloring, this is definitely a good one for you. Pretty. I like it. Okay. Next, I'm just going to close this up. And let's start gluing our pieces together. So there's our purple posy piece. I'm going to use my snail tape just on the outsides here. And it's just a tiny bit of white poking around the outside, as you can see. The next layer, I'm actually going to add, on this card, I put just a strip of mint macaron. On this one, I'm going to actually use, it's a scalloped, oh sheesh, can't remember the exact name of it, but I will have it in the card recipes on my blog tomorrow. But it's such a beautiful ribbon. They come in all the new in colors, which purple posy is. So we're just going to put it kind of down along the edge there. What I prefer to do, as you can see, paper has two sides, so if you make a boo-boo, yeah, you always have the other side. So I put some snail there on the other side and just kind of wrap it. And if it's not quite right, you can reposition. You want to try, the reason why I didn't like this side was that I got too close to each other when I was stamping. So when I flipped it over, I made a point of reminding myself, oh yeah, I'm going to be coloring in between, so leave enough room that you're still going to see some purple in between your flowers. All right, that looks good. Let's add it to our card base. Get some more snail on here. Make sure you add a little snail to that where that ribbon piece is. And on top of that purple posy layer, like so. Now, if you don't like this piece up, what you can do is get out a glue dot and take your pick tool, which is great, and just take off a glue dot and position it underneath like so, and it'll just kind of stick that layer down. All right, so now we're going to work on our sayings. And let's see, what are we going to do? How about Grateful to know you. Sounds all right. So I'm going to show you a little trick here because we aren't going to need and grateful to know you. So this will be just an idea for future. If you ever have a stamp set that you like part of the saying, but you don't really want the whole saying. Now, do I do this in purple? I think I'm gonna do gray granite. So where's my little sticky note? All you have to do is mask that bit off. You can use a sticky note. You can use some. Ooh, I see it's crooked. So what you can do is just let it lay how it would normally lay on your grid paper, and then attach your block to it, and that way it's going to be much straighter. It's happier where it's going to be. However, polymer stamps are flexible, and so you can make them a little bit curved, which is a fun part. Anyways, back to masking. Okay, so and grateful. So I don't want the and. I can put some washi tape over the and. I'm just going to use a sticky note. Just stick it down there and continue to ink like normally. Take off the sticky note, and you only have what you want it to have. So just an idea. Grateful. Let me just wipe that off quick. And I'm going to put to know you. They don't have to really line up because I'm going to cut them all apart. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Grateful to know you. Now let's close this up. And let's get out our little Stampin' our snips here, our scissors, and let's cut those apart. So I'm just trimming down kind of the excess around the words. This way too, let's say your sentiment is a really long sentiment, but you can't fit it where you want it to fit. We'll cut it apart and move the words where you'd like to move them, where you'd like to have them. It's always a little trick. Ooh, that's a little crooked. I think that looks good the way. Maybe I'll straighten this out a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to cut these apart. Grateful to know and you. Now, as you can see, they are on white. I thought, you might not see it so well. I was going to put it on purple posy, but I'm almost thinking now I should use gray granite. For those of you that, I don't know if I've ever explained this, but what I do with all my scraps is I put them beside my actual, cardstock, the full sheets of cardstock. I have one of these for every color, or every color pair, I guess. So it's just a, what are those called? Page protector. I slid a piece of old, it was cardstock of another brand name, which I didn't want to use anymore. So I slid it in there. On this half, I put all my scraps that are those colors. On the other side, I put the sizes that are actual card base size. So sometimes they're full sheets, sometimes I've folded them in half already, but that's how I organize my stuff. And it works good for me because I always look to this section first to see if I have any scraps that are big enough to use. If not, I go to this section and use something from here before I actually go and cut a full sheet of cardstock. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like this better. Okay, so let's put these words now onto the gray granite. Yeah, I think with purple posy it would get a little too lost. And I just want a little bit of a border around it, so I know this sheet is a little too big. So I'm just going to go closer to the edge so I don't have to cut as much. And one more word. Okay, and once again I'm just going to cut these apart, just leaving a tiny border all around the words. Okay, now to make it kind of stand out even more, let's put those dimensionals behind these and pop them up. Ooh, just fits. Okay, let's go with the first one, grateful. Let's not put it upside down. Oh, no. Well, we could put them over on that side. No one's saying, wait, well, no, I like this better. It's kind of the way we start to read, right? Grateful to no. And let's put our last word, grateful to know you. Yeah, maybe over here. Cute. All right. What do you think? Needs some bling, right? Of course. Let's get out those rhinestones. Once again, I'm using my Take Your Pick tool. Just give that little rhinestone a push. And let's place it. How about one up here? One over here. And maybe one down here. Just need some over here. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's bling up this card. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, right? Whoop. There we go. Cute. All right. Let's put that away. Let's check out. I pre-did the envelope, just like I stamped that one flower, and once again smudged around the outside with my dauber with Purple Posy, and there again, did that with the flap. So I will go back later on and do a flower like so right there and kind of smudge around it, but for sake of time, let's keep rolling. So, I'm curious, which color combo is your favorite? Purple or pink? I'm excited to know. So you decide while I'm cleaning up this card kit here. Purple or pink? Got lots of little scraps that need to go in the garbage. Made your big decision, purple or pink? All right, well, let's move on to our third card. Oh, I like this one. Isn't it pretty? Isn't that nice? I'll show you how I did this. so pretty. And on the inside, so it says friend. True friendship is one of God's greatest gifts. And I just stamped some of those leaves there along with the saying. What do you think? And the leaves on the flap and my little flower on the front of the envelope. Okay, so we're gonna make this as is, except we're gonna have to change up the saying, of course, because I'll ask to be your friend. For now, right? For now. All right, so I have a gray granite card base. I also have another layer of gray granite, which I've pre-stamped that flower over and over and over. One of the ideas that helps me is if you stamp one full one first, kind of do it off to the side if you can. It adds a little more interest. And then you go around it, it kind of makes it so you don't get yourself into a corner where you you can't quite fit another flower in there, but you got too much space. So just an idea if you need that. All right, so let's glue this down. And all I used was gray granite on gray granite. So gray granite ink onto the gray granite cardstock, which kind of, it's just a subtle look, right? I then stamped Rococo Rose onto Whisper White cardstock, and one of the great things about this set is that it has the framelits that will cut this out for you. So if you don't have the framelits, of course, scissors are just great. But you'll need one of them, a complete flower. The next one, you're going to need just this inside of the flower needs to be stamped. I don't know if you can see that. But there is no framelit for the inside, so I'm going to get out my paper snips and just kind of bubble cut. Bubble cut just means that I'm leaving a little bit of, oh, did I not leave white? I didn't. Okay, so we're gonna fussy cut along that pink line. It's not too hard because there's not that many, too many jogs. They're a little bit delicate there, and the line is quite thick, which is perfect. So we're going around the outside here. And I won't need these bits, just the inside. All right, now to make this pop a little bit, we're going to use our dauber. And I have one for Rococo Rose. So I'm going to get out my Rococo Rose ink. And once again, just put the dauber right in the ink. And you can kind of pay attention to where the outside is going to be. Outside of that inside part, and I'm just adding the ink kind of around there. So I'm not going totally to the outside of the flower. I'm leaving some of the white showing. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, oh, I see I did something else to it too. One of the stamps that you get is this little piece here, which is the inside of the flower. I'm going to use with gray granite. Now, of course, I'm not going to see this because it's going to get covered over by this layer, right? So let's stamp these little flower bits right onto that one. I'm using gray granite. And next, I'm just going to put some dimensionals behind there. Now, it's kind of got some tight corners, right? So you can either go and use some of the strips. You can cut pieces in half. Dimensionals in half, you can use the mini dimensionals, totally up to you. There we go. Let's take off the backing. And just want to position that right over top of where it would normally be. like so. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. All right, next I stamped 2 of the leaf outlines using mint macaron onto whisper white paper. And once again, I'm going to use a dauber with the mint macaron color. And all I'm going to do is kind of just add a little bit of color to those leaves. And not the full leaf, I'm just going to put it where kind of the leaf starts on the stem. So I've got 2 of those, and of course I didn't have to use my scissors because they come with framelits, or dies I should be calling them now. They come with dies that cut them out perfectly, like so. So I'm just going to set this aside for a minute. Here is a piece of mint macaron that's just going to go across my card. It's just, I believe it's a 1/2 inch. Hey, here's my grid paper, let's see. Yes, it's a 1/2 inch by 5 1/4 inches. So that is going to be where I'm going to place my sentiment. Well, let's see. Should we just do grateful? You? Let's just do grateful. So here's an example of where I don't want am grateful, I just want grateful. So once again, just going to line this up on my block. If you want it exactly straight, lay it on your paper and stick your block to it. I'm going to put my little piece of sticky note over top of what I don't want. I don't want that and. And I'm getting out my gray granite, stamping like normal, inking I should say, inking like normal. Take off your sticky note, and let's see, you might see my head. Grateful. Like so. Looking good. So it's kind of a little masking technique. Now let's glue that onto our card base. Now I did it kind of near the center on my last card. Let's do that again. I think it looked good. There we go. All right, now for our flower. I'm actually going to pop it up a little bit with dimensionals because I just I like using them. I think it just, the more layers, the more interest, right? Well, it came with the paper. Let's go like that then. Whoops. Okay, and let's just position this how you think you like it. I'm going to go like that. Now I've got these leaves to add on. I'm just putting snail behind them and tucking them underneath. Of course, you want to keep them on the card. Otherwise, sometimes if it's hanging off the card, it might not fit in your envelope. So place them underneath like so. And let's top it off with a pearl. Oh, where did I put my pearls? Apparently I don't have them right now. So let's use, I just got these, a clear epoxy dot. Let's get out my take your picker tool. Give it a push, just like the rhinestones and the pearls. And I just want to put it there just to highlight grateful. For the inside of the card, I stamped that same flower and kind of went around the inner section. So let's add that. I don't know if I'm going to put any words. You could write "to know you" or "grateful" if you had to be your friend. That could work in there as well. there. And my envelope, I just went around, stamped those leaves randomly, and once again just gave them a little bit of a dauber technique, a little dauber rub there on the leaves to make them stand out. And on the front of the envelope, I stamped that flower, did the same thing as I did with the inside, stamped a couple leaves and added a little bit of green. And there we have it. There's our card. I like it. All right, so I don't have any decisions for you to make because those two were the same. So I'll quickly go on to our last card. Oh, am I going to make it under an hour? I'm really trying to get under an hour. That's kind of my goal because I know you all have precious time like I do, and you don't have time to sit and watch me make these for hours and hours on end. All right, for this flower, we're going to use the triple stamping. So we're going to use all 3 of those layers to make this beautiful rose. And as you can see, I did the leaves behind, and look at this stunning piece that goes across there. It comes with the framelits, and hooray, I still have the hello stamp, so we're going to use that again. So let's get started. My card base is Whisper White again. Done a lot with Whisper White today. And my second layer is going to be Gray Granite. Once again, I've cut a few things out of the layer that nobody's going to see. So let's add that to our cardstock base. Like so. And we can actually, I think I'm going to stamp hello first before I adhere it in case I make a boo-boo. If I make a boo-boo, of course, the magic of paper, you can just flip it over. Rococo Rose. And I'm just going to stamp it off in the right bottom corner. There. Now I can attach it to the card base. And that gray granite is just a thin layer all the way around the outside like so. Okay, next I'm going to glue this on to that layer like so. Once again, you could have used the adhesive sheets behind it when you were cutting them out. You can also use liquid glue. Just put little dots here, there, and everywhere, which will help it stick down. I'm lazy. I just want to hurry up and do it. So I'm just going to put that across like so. And I wonder, let's switch this up a little bit. Okay, we'll deal with this in a second. Let me get my foam mat here. I have a little scrap piece of paper, and I know that this is a scrap piece because I've cut a little notch out of it. So if you ever come to one of my online classes or a class in person, if you get a little paper with the notch, that means it's a scrap piece of paper. It's not going as is onto your card. So let's get rolling with these 3 layers of stamps. So what I have found is that the easiest way to do this is to go with the outline first and then work my way backwards. That way you can really see where exactly things need to go. So I'm going to use Gray Granite for the outline stamp. And of course this is a scrap piece of paper, so it doesn't really matter where on that paper I stamp. Like so. Clean that off because my Simply Chamois is somewhere hidden under all my stuff. I'm just going to take this one off, place it back in its case because we all know what happens when you don't. And let's go with this layer. So let's go with the kind of the detailed layer. And I'm going to use my Rococo Rose. Ink that up. Now you just kind of turn it and turn it and turn it until you get kind of lined up. Now I'm going to work down kind of below here so I can actually see what I'm doing. Make sure it's lined up properly. No, that's not it. Okay, let's keep turning. Oh, yeah, I think I found it. Now that I have the outline, I have a better kind of guide as to where it needs to be stamped. Look at that. So you could just leave it like that. I actually had a dahlia that looked like that. It was red and white striped. Oh, I did have, it was called Twinning Smarty, a dahlia one time, and it kind of had these pinks and whites, and then in the center was this bright yellow kind of button. It was quite neat. All right, so we've done that kind of the detailed layer, and now we're just going to go back with the kind of the fill-in color. And the way I did this so that it's not all dark like this layer, I used my dauber. I put some ink onto it, and I daubed the ink onto this stamp. That way it's kind of all uneven a little bit, and it's not so intense. Okay, I think that looks good. Got all the pieces covered. And I'm just going to move this back down again so I can see what I'm doing. Just line up. You try and look for this point on your flower. That kind of is a distinguishing mark. Once again, kind of line up your image with that outline. Give it a little stamp. Nice. See how that went? So it wasn't as dark as that other layer, just by using the dauber. All right, now I could use my framelit, but I'm just going to do a quick cut because it's just easier for right now. So I'm bubble cutting. I'm just leaving a little bit of white all the way around the outsides. Get rid of that piece that's kind of hampering you. I hope you're all chit-chatting away. I miss getting to chat with you. I gotta figure out why that's doing that for me. I don't know. Maybe I need an upgrade or something. I didn't pay for something. All right, let's add those inside parts of the flower. Right to the center. It's not dark enough. Do it again. I think that looks good. Now I've pre-done, pardon me, pre-done the leaves just for sake of time. So once again, I stamped the outline first, then I went back with kind of the detailed leaf stamp, and then I did kind of the fill-in, the background stamp, and once again, I daubed on the mint macaron ink. Okay, so I did that for the sake of time. I also cut those out with my dies. Okay, where's my card base? If I were a card base. Here we are. Let's see. On this card, I put it kind of center. But I'm wondering what would happen if we kind of put it off center a little bit. I think it would still work. I also had a piece of this. This is the same thread that we used before. However, this is the Rococo Rose version. The last time we used Purple Posy. So it's kind of neat that they have different colors. I'm going to cut this in. Actually, I'm going to fold it over like so. And that way snip both ends so they'll be exactly the same. And let's cut them in half like that. Now we'll have some of those to stick underneath. Yeah, I think I want to do it off to the side. Let's do a little bit different. I want to pop up the flower, but first, yeah, let's pop up the flower. Get out the dimensionals. And place it where you think it might look good. Let's go right there. Now I want to stick these kind of underneath, like so, sticking out. I think that'll look cute. Maybe I want them a little bit shorter, so let's trim them up. Cut a little bit off, and I'm just going to use my snail tape on the back. If it doesn't work, sometimes the tape just doesn't want to stick to the ribbon. That's okay. Just use some either glue dots, or you can use the multi-purpose, the liquid glue. That always does the trick too. Just lift that up a little bit. And there we go. We've added a little bit of a ribbon touch there. And now for the leaves, which are under my card. Spend more time looking for things, I tell you. Now let's just tuck. Where am I going to put it up here? Nothing's saying that you have to. Let's cut this off. And how about we cut? Will it fit there? Now let's cut them apart. Make it girl. That in there. Remember, we want to keep it onto the card, otherwise could might not fit inside the envelope. All right, I think this one should go okay. This way. Yeah, I like it right there. Get a little snail. Now, how did I do that? Like so. Cute. Of course, let's do some pearls. I can't find my pearls, so let's do. Oh, here they are. Found them. Take your pick. Over here. Let's add some pearls. Let's do one up here. And let's highlight the word hello. And a wee little guy. Maybe inside there. How's that? All right. Curious. Which version do you like the best? Do you like the left or do you like the center? Left or center? And I can't remember if I showed you the envelope, but what I did was the same sort of technique I did before with the Purple Posy or the Rococo Rose, where I stamped the image and then daubed around it. So I used that, and there, I did this one. So I just kind of colored it in with the dauber. Now, as you can see, I had a little bit of a a little accident. I had a little smudge on here. So what you can do is just flick some of your blender pens ink onto your envelope or wherever you've made your little smudge, and now you can't really see it because it's just a whole bunch of dots and little bits of interest that it no longer stands out. So that's just a little trick in case you make a boo-boo. All right, while you're doing your left or your center. I am just going to put these away. And that was our fourth and final card. So like I said at the beginning, this is a free class here. However, if any of these products interest you, of course, I am able to sell them to you. Also, 2 of these cards, and I'm not telling you which ones, are going to be in the upcoming online card class, which let's show you. Go. Oh dear, are we really frozen? Oh, I see. Oh, no, that's not going to work either. Okay, it's just not content right now. I guess they get fussy. Oh, here we go. They get fussy too, right? Now I wanted that off. Okay, so this is my online card class, and I'll try to read this for you. So if you purchase the bundle, which are the stamp sets and the dies, I will send you 4 card kits for free. So I'll cut up the little projects ready to roll, and we will stamp together, so you don't have to worry about knowing the directions. We'll do exactly like what we did here tonight. The second option is to purchase either the stamp set or the dies, and what I had was that you will get to purchase the card kits for half price, but tonight only I'm going to say if you buy one of the 2, I will send you the card kits for free, the 4 card kits. So that's only tonight, so don't pester me tomorrow because I'll feel bad and probably let it go. And finally, option 3 is if you say you already have this stamp set, so you aren't going to want a double. I wouldn't. So your option is just to purchase the card kits, and those are $17, and that includes the shipping to your door. So all of the options, for all the options, you'll get to join an exclusive Facebook group. Now, if you don't have Facebook, don't worry, because I will send you the YouTube link and you can watch it as many times as you want. You can also press pause if you need a little extra time on something. But yeah, you'll get to keep the YouTube link. So the deadline to order, I've extended 1 day. So June 21st, which is Friday, will be the last day that you can order this online card class, and the class date is set for Tuesday, July 16th at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, once again, if you aren't able to be at that class, no worries, because I will send you the YouTube link and you can stamp whenever you like to. You can stamp in the middle of the night if that's your fancy, or maybe you're camping. Maybe you'll stamp while you're camping. Who knows? It's totally up to you. All right, so you can order those items online on my online site, and the numbers are there below for you for the different items, because all along I've shown you the bundle number, but you can buy the stamp set and the dies separately as well. The good thing about the bundle is that you get to save 10%. So I don't know if you're like me, but why not? So there's the stamp set, there are the dies. So hopefully this is something that you will be interested in. So not only will you have all the four cards that we made tonight, all those ideas, but you're going to get 2 extras if you join the online card class. They are for anybody of any skill level. If you don't have these ink pad colors, use what you have, or feel free to add them to your order. That always works too. Other than that, I hope you had a great evening. I'm going to go right now to check out all your comments, because that's my favorite part, is chit-chatting with you. I'm going to check out all of the comments, see who commented, and get that draw rolling, and the sharing draw. So if you've forgotten to share now. Share it quick. All right. If I don't see you before the next class, then have a great rest of your week. The next class is going to be on Monday, called the Creative Escape. Same place, same time, not same time, same place, 10 a.m. and I will get out the supply list for that hopefully Saturday night, so you can have all your items prepared for that. All right, ladies, thank you for popping on. You make my day. Have a great evening.